My sister and I saved the richest guy in town. He offered us two choices. Take 10 million or marry his son. I heard his only son was supposed to be ugly. So my sister begged me to choose marriage. Turns out, his son is actually Henry, the hottest guy at school, and he treated me like a queen after we got married. But my sister took the money, got hooked on gambling, and got tricked out of everything she had. Out of jealousy, she pushed me off a building, but ended up falling herself. The next thing I know, we're both back to the day we made our choice. She jumped at the chance for marriage, while I grinned, thinking 10 million sounded way better than marrying a psycho. Uncle, I choose to marry your son. My sister blurted out, trembling with excitement, and her eyes full of greed. I smirked. Funny how my sister and I both got a do-over. I was wondering how I'd push her into choosing marriage. Talk about a wish come true. The rich guy didn't say yes right away. He smiled at me warmly. Clara, you're the older sister. You pick first. My sister and I are different. She's lively and impulsive, not the best match for his son. I'm quiet, obedient, and easier to handle. My sister quickly tugged my arm, throwing me a threatening look. Sis, I heard the uncle's son is ugly and has a bad temper. You can't handle that, so let me marry him. I gave a small smile. You sure? Won't regret it later? My sister shook her head like crazy. No way. When we get home, I'll even speak nicely to Mom and Dad about you. I won't ever steal your stuff again. I smirked, her promise hanging in the air. All right then, sis. Just remember what you said today. Then I turned to the rich guy. Uncle, I'll take the 10 million. The rich guy nodded with a hint of disappointment. All right then. My sister was over the moon, dreaming of her future as a rich lady married into the Chens family. Imagining not only a ridiculously handsome and loving husband, but also endless wealth and luxury. Dad, she gushed, don't worry. I'll be super good to you and my husband from now on. The doctor says I'm super healthy. I can give you 2 grandkids in 3 years. If there's anything I do wrong, just let me know, and I'll fix it. She hadn't even walked down the aisle, and she was already calling him Dad, with her words as sweet as honey. The rich guy finally smiled, a mysterious look in his eyes. Good, with you saying this, I'm relieved. Our family has just one rule. There are no divorces here, only widows. My sister beamed even brighter, thinking she hit the jackpot. She nodded eagerly. Dad, don't worry. No matter what happens, I won't divorce my husband. I gave a sneering glance at the fresh grass on the lawn, feeling amused. In the previous life, the rich guy never laid down this rule. They knew I was loyal and used my parents' lives to keep me in check. As for my sister, they easily bought her with enough money. A match made in heaven, the greedy sister and the psycho-perfect prince. As soon as my sister walked through the door, she loudly announced the big news. Mom, Dad, I'm marrying the richest guy's son Henry. I'm going to be a lady now. Dad jumped off the couch stunned. Lucy, is this true? You're not joking? Mom pointed at the TV, where the news showed the rich guy donating 1.3 billion to his alma mater. Her fingers shaking. Is he the rich guy you're talking about? My sister lifted her chin, as proud as a peacock. Who else but him? His son Henry is the hottest guy at our university. You saw him when you signed me up, didn't you? Super handsome and sweet. The rich dad even said 2 weeks from now is a lucky day for the wedding, she declared. Mom, Dad, you will be relatives of the richest family now. Aren't you happy? How could they not be? Mom's eyes were red with emotion, and Dad quickly started getting fruit and drinks for my sister. Mom gulped and said, the richest guy just donates 1.3 billion like it's nothing. Can you imagine how loaded he is? My sister, basking in their delight, snuck a mocking glance at me. Of course, she chirped. Their business is in real estate and luxury goods. More money than they can spend in lifetimes. You know those high-end office buildings downtown with the crazy rent? All theirs. It's not rent. It's land rent they get. The rich guy said there's just one rule in their family. There's no divorce here. As if I'd want to divorce after marrying into their family. I'd be laughing in my dreams every night. I watched my sister. She was filled with joy. The rich family is loaded beyond measure, spending freely with no care. But everything comes at a cost, especially with such a cunning businessman. The 1.3 billion donation was hush money for a girl Henry accidentally killed at school. To keep it quiet, they paid big, letting everyone in the know have a piece. The reason my sister was marrying Henry in 2 weeks was no accident. The big wedding hides many sins. Mom was quick to catch on. If the richest guy is so generous, what did Clara get? My sister shrugged, just 10 million. Her casual words made my parents' eyes shine with excitement, rubbing their hands together. Clara, Mom said sweetly, you don't really need all that money. Let me hold it for you. I'll give it back when you need it. I laughed sarcastically, so much different than before but eerily the same. In the past, my sister got the 10 million, and my parents let her spend as she wished, making her pretty, then told me to give her money, because I married well and owed it. Because my sister was the baby of the family, so sweet-talking and favored. Her allowance was always twice mine, and I bought her snacks too. No matter how well I did in school, they'd only go to my sister's parent-teacher meetings. Whenever we argued, it was always my fault because I was older. But I'm only a minute older than her. Mom and Dad, it's not that I don't want to give it, but this money is from the richest man. And if you take it, what will they think? They'll think we're selling our daughter for wealth, and my sister's marriage will be considered a step down. I casually make up a story, but my parents and sister totally buy it. My sister waves her hand, forget it, it's just 10 million, right? Mom and Dad, don't bother my sister for it. After I marry Henry, we'll have more money than we can count. But sister, you must promise to stay out of Henry's way, and not live at home. Is she worried something might happen between Henry and me? I smirked. Wow, since when did she become so adorable? Everything she does now really pleases me. All right then, I'll pack my things right now. I promise I won't come back without your notice. I wish you and your husband eternal happiness, and lots of children. My sister is satisfied with my understanding, nodding as she says, sister, you're so good with your words now. If you keep this up, I might just reward you with some little goodies. I grin even brighter than her, and have everything packed in 10 minutes. I leave home with my suitcase like a whirlwind. All of this is going way too smoothly. I can't help but laugh out loud in the taxi. No more insanely jealous sister, no more sadistic husband, no more greedy, biased parents. The sky seems bluer, the wind feels more romantic. 10 million can do a lot. Like buying a fully furnished apartment in the city center, with security patrolling the entrance. Then starting a business. Well, really just trading stocks. I was always interested in stocks, just dabbling with pocket money. I lost quite a bit, but learned about certain stocks that never fail. The overnight success stocks are usually rigged by insiders. I've noted a few, but would rather spread my bets than risk everything. Being cautious is not a bad thing. I'm not much into brick-and-mortar businesses like dining, fashion, or beauty, but I'm optimistic about e-commerce. I think it'll eat up 70% of physical stores in the future. I set up the company and picked a location, just as I received the wedding invite for my sister and Henry. It's very fancy, complete with golden wheat art on the side. My sister video calls me. She's in the garden of the luxurious Henry's mansion, flanked by maids. Living the high life, it seems. Sister, did you get the invite? I wave it in front of the camera. Yep, it's so fancy and beautiful. Her eyes radiate pride. Fancy, right? It was custom made just for us. The wheat is made of gold, and the emeralds are genuine. Each invite cost over 8,000. I pretend to be awed. Wow, that's a lot. She chuckles boastfully, not really. It's just a few million. To us, that's nothing. She adds, did you see how beautiful the handwriting is? Henry wrote all the names himself. Aren't both he and his writing just so handsome? Are you regretting not picking Henry? I stroked the embossed text, grinning with hidden meaning. Why would I? Seeing how happy you are makes me happy. She smirks. You're such a pushover, sis. Always have been. Seems like you'll spend 2 lifetimes under my foot. I feign ignorance, and after a bit more showing off, she hangs up. But I know that handwriting too well. Yes, Henry is good looking, always smiling like he's harmless, and those long, elegant fingers are mesmerizing. He's a piano prodigy, master of calligraphy. Even when those beautiful hands are up to no good, they're still mesmerizing. He loves calligraphy, making me kneel to grind the ink, accept his insults in the nude. Just recalling these moments drenches me in cold sweat. Henry is my burden. If I can't deal with him, He'll haunt me forever. Now watching my stocks turn into 30 million from the initial 3 million, it's almost unbelievable. So why not be bolder? Aim to be like the richest, surpass the richest? This wedding is a $3 billion spectacle. My sister's crown is a former princess's with 3 bodyguards assigned to it. Her gown is custom made, and her smile outshines the sun. And Henry in his black suit is as dashing as any movie star. What a perfect match. Especially that kneeling proposal moment. Lucy, I'll cherish you forever. You won't regret choosing me. My sister tears up, nodding vigorously, I believe you. The room erupts in applause. Many are moved to tears, except the groomsmen, who look on mockingly. They're no better, a bunch of rich, spoiled kids. As long as they steer clear of family businesses, their parents don't care how they waste their money. At the toast, as the sister of the bride, I'm kinda stuck there. So for my first meeting with Henry in this life, I try to avoid eye contact. But he notices. Half smiling, he says, though you're my wife's sister, aren't we meeting for the first time? I've heard you're quite busy. Too busy for family parties? Reluctantly, I meet his gaze. His cunning eyes narrow slightly, showing his interest in me. My hands clench, nails digging into the flesh. A small pain, but it keeps the fear at bay. Forced to smile. Yeah, just been really busy. Henry licked his teeth, intrigued. Oh? What keeps you busy, sis? Maybe I can lend a hand. This public display of goodwill from the young master would have made anyone else deliriously happy, but it sent chills down my spine. My sister stepped forward, placing herself between us. Honey, there are so many people waiting for me to toast. Only then did Henry let me go. After the toasts, I grabbed my bag and left. The next day was the return visit. I thought my sister wouldn't invite me to avoid running into Henry, but Mom called and sounded urgent. Clearly, Henry wasn't tagging along for the return visit, so I complied. With shoes off, I looked up to see my sister looking exhausted. Her bright eyes were bloodshot. I got it. Henry must have gotten to work last night. In my past life, he waited a month before laying hands on me, but seeing the 70 grand crocodile skin bag made it clear. Henry's generous, spending freely on women, but only on his terms, not when a woman wants to spend. So to him, my greedy sister was just a toy he bought, to play with whenever. Why wait for a special occasion? So what if it was the wedding night? I feigned surprise. Sis, how did one night change you so much? Then with a teasing smile. Oh, I forgot it was your honeymoon night. Of course, you'd be a little tired. She didn't reply, just stared intensely at me, trying to see if I was acting. I blinked. Why are you looking at me like that? Her voice was hoarse, probably from crying and begging all night. Henry's a freak. The more they cry, the more he enjoys it. She hesitated but then gave up. Sis, forget it. Mom made a spread of her favorite dishes, spicy crab, blood-curd soup, fried beef. But she only managed a couple sips of fish soup and a few bites of tofu. Even swallowing seemed a task. Dad was concerned. Lucy, are you feeling unwell? My sister forced a smile. Drank too much last night, my throat's sore. So Mom hurried to make seafood porridge and Dad washed cherries, urging her to eat a bit more. I ate quietly, unable to suppress a smirk. Last night Henry was testing her obedience, likely making her eat strange things like raw octopus. Just step 1. It'll get wilder, they'll tie her up and play with pals. What's more terrifying is the eel as thick as an arm that follows. It's bigger, slime-coated, and poisonous. Disgusting. Lucy, isn't your husband quite busy? Why isn't he here with you today? My sister involuntarily shook as she held her spoon. Yeah, he's busy, Dad disapprovingly said. No matter how busy, he should come for a meal. How much time would it take? Mom glared at Dad. He's a big businessman, unlike you. She then served my sister more food reassuringly. Don't mind your dad. Just live well with your husband. My sister gave a half-hearted response, clearly not wanting to talk about Henry, shifting the convo to me. Sis, what have you been up to lately? I slowly finished my soup before answering. Nothing much, just some shopping and travel. She laughed, holding her crocodile bag as she bragged. I love shopping, but I clear out shops, buy limited editions others can't even if they pay extra. Just yesterday, spent over 600 grand in 2 hours. Mom's eyes widened. Wow, doesn't your husband get mad spending so much? She scoffed. This is nothing to him. I have a no-limit card he gave me. I can swipe as much as I want. I listened to her brag, feigning envy at the right moments. With mom and dad constantly praising her, she seemed to regain motivation to stay with Henry. Being wealthy and admired was enough despite the abuse. Enthusiastically, she said, "Mom, Dad, let's go shopping this afternoon. Whatever you want, I'll buy." Mom beamed. My Lucy knows to buy gifts for us with her money. They clearly hinted I hadn't done the same. I calmly responded, "I'm not like my sister. She's got endless riches. I'm careful with my spending after buying a house." My sister, reveling in the flattery, said, "True, sis. You'll rely on what you have for life. Dad, didn't you want a sports car and jade bracelet? Let's get those." They were instantly thrilled, excitedly planning their shopping spree. Proud as a peacock, my sister shot me a look. "Aren't you envious, sis?" My smile was meaningfully sly. "Who wouldn't be jealous of you? Everyone wants to be in your shoes." She boasted, "Anyone who tries to seduce my husband, I'll deal with them. They can only take my place if I'm dead." Secretly wishing her luck, I watched in silence. My feed later filled with photos of their shopping trip. Car, watches, jade bags. The spree must have cost close to $1 million. Tonight was going to be a tough one for her. After the excitement, I got busy with my company things, hiring streamers, setting up processes. Once the company was running smoothly, I planned to sign up for management courses and transition from a complete novice to a proper manager. During this time, I met quite a few business owners and joined them for tea, chatting about company affairs during my breaks. Business isn't easy at all. I lost over $3 million in the first month. Luckily, the second month, I finally started making a profit. It wasn't much, but at least the company was on the right track. The stock market has been rough recently, but I've managed to make a little bit of money here and there. While playing golf, I happened to see Henry with his sister and a group of rowdy friends entering a private course. There were a few sleazy laughs nearby. Henry's brought his little wife again for their amusement. Last time I walked by, oh boy, that view was quite something. Yeah, a wife he officially married paraded around like this. Worse than some women outside. Who knows, rich folks have their ways. I watched them disappear into the woods with a complex expression. In my past life, Henry mistreated and bullied me a lot, but he never shared me with his buddies. He's really not treating his sister like a person. Then again, she's spent so much money, he's probably getting back at her. She suffers abuse and thinks money can heal her wounds, and they end up in a vicious cycle. It's only a matter of time before she gets played to death by him. But still, she's his sister. Even in such a situation, she managed to get pregnant. His family cares a lot about heirs, considering it's just Henry and no other kids. His sister's face started to look better, and her social media was still full of boastful photos, showing Henry sometimes, with a gentle and indulgent look. The comments were all full of envy, saying she must have saved the galaxy in her past life to marry Henry. She called to brag, "Sis, the doctor said it's a boy. He's the future little prince, the heir. Let's see who can challenge my position now." I smiled and asked, "Congrats. Is the baby healthy?" She proudly replied, "Of course, super healthy." The doctor mentioned something about super male. Didn't quite catch it. I guess it means strong and powerful. I almost laughed out loud. How scary ignorance can be. I kindly warned her, "I've heard of the super male syndrome. It might have violent tendencies." She angrily snapped, "Stop cursing my son. You're just jealous you couldn't have a son when you had the chance. You always pretend not to be interested in Henry, but in reality, you envy my life. Sis, I'm warning you. I ended you once. I can end you again." I replied calmly, "What strange things you're saying. I don't understand." She sneered, "Fine if you don't understand, but if you ever try to take Henry from me, I will end you. Got it?" I responded thoughtfully, "Don't worry. That'll never happen. Even in death, I won't ever go after your husband. He's all yours forever." In my past life, I was actually pregnant twice, both with children having the super male syndrome. Doctors said it could be genetic. I suspected Henry might be a super male, but from his looks, he didn't seem like it. His father, on the other hand, very likely carries the genes, which is why he has many women outside, but only one child, Henry, because supermale genes tend to affect fertility. Kids with supermale syndrome are scary, inherently violent and impulsive, not good people in 9 out of 10 cases. But with proper care, there's hope. Still, in the past, I didn't want to gamble. I thought I'd eventually end up dead at Henry's hands. What good could come from a family of maniacs? Just as my streaming company secured a $10 billion investment and planned to go big and be public in 3 years, his sister gave birth. A big healthy boy, 8 pounds 3 ounces. Sure, newborns aren't usually pretty, but this one was especially ugly. But love is blind, I guess. They all found him adorable. She made a big social media post. The long-awaited order from 10 months ago has finally arrived today. Thanks to my in-laws for the huge mansion. It's my first gigantic red envelope, $100 million. In her post, only one picture was of the baby. The rest were all about the gifts from her in-laws. The comments were all full of envy, so I gave it a thumbs up too. Now that the child was born, Henry started up again, worse than before. The kid was born, so he didn't care anymore. He never hit her face before, but now he showed no mercy. She went home to cry to our parents, and they called me over too. Dad angrily said, "This is outrageous. She just gave them a big boy, and he dares hit her like this? No way. I'm going to demand an apology from Henry." Mom tried to calm him. "Even if you go, they won't see you." Dad slammed the table in anger. "If they won't see me, I'll sue them." I refuse to believe there's no justice left in this world. I chimed in supportively, "Dad, I back you up. Worst case, sis can just divorce him." Couldn't even finish when she cut me off. "No, I can't divorce him. I worked hard to get here. If I divorce, I'll have nothing left. I'm the baby's mom. I'm the madam. The group will be my son's one day." I refused to let go. She glared viciously at me. "Sis, you're just jealous, trying to take my place, aren't you? Well, that's not going to happen." I shrugged. "Fine, pretend I said nothing. I wish you a long and happy life together." If she'd listen, maybe she could have saved herself. But she's already blinded by wealth and madness. At first, she'd still show off the baby pics and videos online. But she never showed her face again, because the injuries never went away. Before, she could spend money like water, but after the child, she was confined and couldn't spend a cent. That $100 million was just a formality. In their eyes, since she'd already had a baby, she was trapped for good. No need to keep giving anything. 6 months later, the baby had grown a bit. Couldn't call out for mom or dad, but he'd pull his sister's hair and bite during feeding, making her writhe in pain on the bed. Mom would call me sometimes to tell me about it, cursing out Henry, saying the baby was just as bad, but never saying she'd stand up for her or tell her to get a divorce. They were scared Henry would ask them to repay all the money spent on my sister over the years. Some love from mom and dad, but not much. But this was all my sister's doing anyway. Now the live streaming market's booming. We're pulling in over $30 million a month, supporting over 100 factories. Lots of investors are keen on this pie, eager to chat about collaborations and funding. Originally, it was a 3-year plan to go public, but now we've done it in a year and a half. I pushed on, signing up minor celebs for live selling, occasionally bringing in big-name stars to boost hype, costly but worth it. My company became the hottest in the live stream industry. Just 3 months of profits matched an entire year's worth for some listed companies. Plenty of other companies wanted in on the action too, but they were late to the game. The top streamers I created were unshakable. Even Henry noticed the appeal of the market and asked me out to talk. He didn't know I founded the company under my best friend's name, so I turned him down. Did it 3 times. It was the first big humiliation Henry had ever faced, so he took out his anger on my sister. But the breaking point wasn't that. It was when my nephew stabbed her in the eye with a fork at night. That was her wake-up call. She escaped back from the hospital in a panic, screaming, "He's a demon. He wasn't just trying to blind me. He wants to kill me." I just happened to wake up and dodge. "Divorce? I want a divorce from Henry. I won't go back. They'll kill me, the whole family, all devils. Mom, Dad, save me. I don't want to die." But Henry came to take her back, smiling creepily. "Mom, Dad, don't mind her. She's just tired from taking care of the baby. She'll be fine after resting at home." My parents wanted to speak up, But with the fierce-looking bodyguards behind him, they backed down. Faced with overwhelming power, they chose self-preservation. My sister knelt before me, clutching my legs and sobbing hysterically. "Sis, let's swap places. You go to his house, okay? The richest man had his eyes on you anyway. I won't compete anymore. Just let me live," she begged me, bowing repeatedly until her forehead stained with blood. Henry looked me over, eyes narrowed. "Oh? It should have been you marrying me?" By now, I was strong enough to face him head-on. Smiling slightly, I acknowledged, "Yes, there was that thought." He licked his lips. "Actually, there's some truth to what your sister said. If you're willing to come back with me as my wife, I'll let her go." My sister's eyes lit up instantly. "Sis." I let out a cold laugh. "Sister, you've got wild dreams. You said you'd never regret it before, but now it's too late. You're always so weak. The ones hurting you are right there. Yet you just beg for mercy, like a dog, wagging for a reprieve. Even dogs bark or bite back when pushed. And you? Nothing. Such a pathetic fool." Her eyes filled with fury as she stood up, pulling out a knife and lunged at me. But I was ready, pulling Henry in front of me. The knife sank into his stomach. It all happened so fast. The bodyguards finally snapped to it, pinning her down, rushing Henry to the hospital. The room fell silent, just my parents and I, and a pool of blood on the floor. As the guards took her away, desperation clouded her eyes. My shaken parents asked, "Clara, what now? Will Henry retaliate?" I took out my phone, chuckling. "Of course he will." They collapsed terrified onto the floor as I called my assistant. "It's time. Hand the evidence over to the tax office. Take all the victims to the police. Make sure the media's ready. Henry's stocks will drop tomorrow. Tell the shareholders not to buy even if it hits rock bottom. The bankruptcy price will be lower." After the call, they asked with puzzled faces, "Clara, what were you talking about? We don't understand." I pointed to the TV with a smile. "You'll get it in a bit. Breaking news. Local billionaire's son, Mr. Henry, has been detained for investigation, accused of raping minors and murder. Just in, the billionaire himself is under investigation for tax evasion, smuggling, and violence over the years. The group got exposed for forcing evictions. The eviction team members were all gangsters, and they injured villagers multiple times. A video got out. This series of drastic actions put the group in a huge scandal. Both heads of the company got arrested, and panic spread immediately. All the hosts in my company couldn't stop talking about it. Their downfall was all the talk, and became the last straw. With all this news we stirred up, their stock plummeted. Nobody expected the city's reigning champ to fall from grace overnight. My sister and her son got sent back. Everyone else ran off with whatever they could grab. Honest folks were hard to find in their family. It was my first time meeting my nephew. He was much taller than other kids, with no expression on his face, but fierceness in his eyes. One look and I knew my sister's life was done for. Henry got 16 years in prison, and his dad got life. They'll never see outside again. The company declared bankruptcy, and I bought it for next to nothing. The view from the 36th floor was breathtaking, looking down at the people who seemed even smaller than ants. During long nights of overtime, I'd see the moon shining brightly. In the morning, the sun wrapped in clouds. No wonder people fight tooth and nail to climb higher. The view is worth it. When I became the city's first female tycoon, I got a letter from Henry in prison. "Clara, I've been reborn too. No wonder I felt a thrill at first sight during your sister's wedding. Turns out you were my prey. It's a pity I got reborn late. It would have been interesting sooner. Honestly, you're way more appealing than your sister, better suited to be my pet. It's only 16 years, behave well, and I could be out soon. Are you looking forward to our reunion? Drop by sometime, or else you know what I can do." I chuckled, tossed it in the trash, and called my secretary. I forgot to mention, send someone to treat Henry and his dad in prison like they're better off dead. Got it. Beasts like them deserve to suffer. I planned to deal with them later, but they just offered themselves up. My loyal secretary understood perfectly. Every 2 weeks, she'd update me with videos of them. The once mighty billionaire and his prince now find begging like dogs their biggest skill, hoping for fewer beatings. Henry contracted a bunch of STDs, losing every bit of remaining value, stuck at the bottom rung. 6 months later, he tried using a sharpened toothbrush to end it all, landing in the hospital. That night he showed up at my garden. With a toothy, creepy grin he said, "Clara, did you think you could avoid me? I know you wrecked my company, wrecked me. But it's fine, I love you. I forgive you." I sipped my coffee elegantly. "Why do you think I'm out here so late? I was waiting for you." He paused, then laughed again. "Of course, you're my best game yet. You get me." As he came toward me holding a shiny fruit knife, 2 steps away I snapped my fingers. Black hunting dogs pounced from the shadows, tearing at him with sharp fangs. His face showed panic, and he screamed for help. Turns out monsters like him cry for help too. The trained dogs didn't kill him, just left him in agony, wishing he were dead. I splashed a bucket of salt water on him. He writhed, wailing in pain. "Did you think you'd get lucky enough to escape like that? Honestly, with you inside it was hard to really get at you. Only made your life miserable. But you know, I want way more than that. Relax, you won't die. Come daylight, I'll report this. You'll be hurt bad enough to land in a care home. Don't say I didn't care. I even opened a special care home just for you. Remember what you did to me? I'm giving it back 100-fold. Every step was as I planned." Henry regretted escaping since prison seemed like heaven now. He begged for forgiveness 1,000 times. While I sat nearby, sipping tea and reading, his moans of pain were my entertainment. My sister and her Klinefelter syndrome child finally lost one life. He locked her in a room and started a fire. Neighbors called the fire department just in time, or she'd have burned alive. That night, she amputated him and boiled him in a pot. Sister went nuts, ended up in the same care home. My daily joy increased a bit. Since even though she's crazy, she remembers Henry. Every day she finds ways to torment him. Once she cut a chunk off his thigh, cooked it, and forced it into his mouth. Too gross, I had enough. Time to focus on work, letting them keep each other company. Riding in my sports car, feeling the summer breeze, catching the eye of admiring young guys. My life is just beginning. The end.